Welcome back, beautiful, beloved souls. My name is Jim, and if you're new here, I'm a psychic medium and I'm an author. This channel doesn't fit a particular niche. Look at anything and everything through a lens. And my video today, a commentary, is why mainstream disclosure is a distraction from the real interspatial intelligence presence. Everything the government is telling you about UAPs right now is neat, polished, and just believable enough to feel like truth. But what if that's the trick? What if the entire narrative is designed to keep your eyes locked on the sky while the real phenomenon isn't up there at all? What if we're not being visited but have never been alone? Because here's the uncomfortable idea: nobody in those hearings is touching. We aren't dealing with distant travelers from other planets. We are sharing reality with an intelligence that doesn't need spacecraft because it doesn't travel through space the way we understand it. It moves through something else entirely, and that changes everything. Part 1, the contradictory authority. Let's talk about the sudden shift. For decades, governments dismissed UFOs as conspiracy, fantasy, or misidentification. People were ridiculed, careers destroyed, reputations erased. Now, suddenly, we have hearings. We have officials saying, yes, there are objects we can't explain. We have footage released like breadcrumbs, and we're supposed to trust that shift? But here's the contradiction. If this phenomenon truly represents a non-human intelligence, one that defies physics, one that enters restricted airspace at will, why is the conversation being handled like a defense briefing? Why is the focus always on? Are they a threat? What are their capabilities? Can we reverse engineer their craft? That framing tells you something important. It keeps the entire conversation trapped inside human thinking. War, technology, control. It's like trying to understand the ocean by measuring it with a ruler. Part 2, the manufactured narrative of disclosure. What we're watching unfold isn't transparency. It's theatre with permission. These 2026 hearings feel like disclosure, but they're actually containment. Think about the structure. Information is released slowly, carefully, in fragments, just enough to spark curiosity, but never enough to disrupt the foundation of how we understand reality. because real disclosure wouldn't look like this. It wouldn't be neat. It wouldn't be scheduled. It wouldn't come with talking points. Real disclosure would destabilize everything. Science, religion, identity, even the idea of what it means to be human. So instead, we get a version that's manageable, a version that says, yes, something is out there, but don't worry, it still fits inside your current worldview. That's not truth. That's narrative management. Part 3, the Interspacial Intelligence Hypothesis. Now, here's where things get uncomfortable. Because if it's not extraterrestrial in the traditional sense, then what is it? This is where the idea of interspatial intelligence comes in. Not interstellar, interspatial, meaning not traveling across vast distances, but existing alongside us in layers of reality we don't fully perceive. Think of it like this. We experience reality through a very narrow band. Visible light, limited sound frequencies, a brain that filters more than it reveals. We're not seeing everything. We're seeing what we are equipped to see. So, what happens if there are intelligences that exist outside that band, between dimensions, or even within consciousness itself? Suddenly, you don't need spacecraft. You don't need propulsion. You don't need to arrive because you were never absent to begin with. Part 4. Why the focus on the hardware is a distraction. Notice how every official discussion revolves around, let me repeat that. I didn't mean to say resolves. Notice how every official discussion revolves around objects, craft, materials, debris. It keeps everything tangible, safe, measurable. But what if the objects aren't the intelligence, but just interfaces, tools, projections, or even something our brains are constructing in order to make sense of something far stranger? Because here's a question that doesn't get asked. Why do encounters often involve altered states of consciousness? Why do people report missing time, telepathic communication, dream-like interactions? That's not mechanical. That's an experience, and it suggests that the phenomena isn't just interacting with our airspace. It's interacting with us directly. Part 5. The real high stakes truth. If this is true, the implications are massive because it means the real frontier isn't outer space, it's inner space, consciousness itself. And that's not something governments can easily control. They can regulate airspace. They can classify technology. They can control information. But they cannot control your perception, your awareness, your direct experience. And where this becomes dangerous, not for us, but for systems of authority, because once people stop looking outward for answers and start exploring the nature of their own consciousness, the entire power structure shifts. No permission required, no official statement needed, just awareness. In closing, so maybe the biggest distraction isn't that we're being lied to, it's that we're being redirected, told to look up when we should be looking within and between. Because the real question isn't, are we alone in the universe? It's, how much of reality are we actually perceiving? And once you start asking that, the sky is no longer the limit. It's just the beginning. Thank you very much, beautiful, beloved souls. If you drop a comment, I ask you do so with respect. So, basically, are they extraterrestrials, interdimensionals, or something we don't understand? Because our perception is so limited. We see within very narrow colours. So, are we being lied to so they can keep the narrative and the story going? Drop your comments below. I love reading comments. Thank you. Please be kind to each other. Take care of yourselves. Love, light, and blessings. Bye.